Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Postscripts, or you can call me Posty, Vic, whatever. It's fine. Today we're doing a little bit of a different video. In this video we're going to kind of watch a speed build for the new Llamas and Legends Legacy challenge. This is the new house that I built for Judith and my sim Anora. So I thought I could kind of record a little voiceover, kind of talk about some of the inspiration that came to build this house. I'll pop up a picture on the screen so you can see kind of what was the inspiration behind this house. I'll warn you right now, I'm not the strongest builder. Do I tend to build boxes? Yeah. But I think with a house of this size, it's kind of difficult not to build a house. And I really hesitated on whether I was going to post this because really and truly this is not one of my strengths. It is something I'm working on, but I decided, who cares? Let's just have fun and just see where this takes us. So without further ado, let's start kind of talking about the build. So my vision for this was to make it a lot more modern and kind of have a little bit of like a Tuscan Italian vibe to it, which you can see based on the picture. I started off trying to really copy the picture, and if anyone out there who's watching this video builds in The Sims, it's kind of hard to make things look good in The Sims that look awesome in real life. So about maybe a third into the speed build, I kind of give up and demolish it, bulldoze the whole thing, and start over and just kind of take inspiration from the picture instead. And I think that worked out a lot better. I was really, really struggling with the colors, and it could have been just like the lighting on this lot. Like in the picture, you can see like it has more of like an orange red roof, and it just looks bizarre in The Sims. So I was really not vibing with it. I ended up having this really weird bug with drawing different, like it wasn't letting me draw the rooms or place anything, so I ended up having to like restart my game. It was a whole thing. You'll see that in a second, but I did have a lot of fun, not necessarily building it, but decorating it was really, really fun. That's where I kind of shine. I love to decorate. So I'm kind of thinking like maybe for future build, I might just end up like finding a shell on the gallery and just kind of make it my own and make it fit like the story that I'm trying to tell. Because honestly, I tend to make things bigger than they need to be. I know that that's common in The Sims. I don't really know why, but it kind of is. And you can see here, I tried making like a garage over to the side, and it just looked really bizarre. I don't know, the scale of everything. Oh, I also built on medium wall height, which that might have factored into like things kind of looking a little bit off in my head. But yeah, I was like, oh, I'll make it look like it's the garage. And then I remembered, oh wait, I'm supposed to like have a museum on the lot. And so I ended up changing that section of the house into the museum lot. So my plan is to use the businesses and hobbies expansion pack and have part of the house be like a museum, and we can open up the business, have people come in, see it, visit everything, and maybe make some extra cash that way. This is where I went wrong. I placed a platform. Big mistake. Rookie mistake, if you will say. For some reason, and you can see on the screen, it made a gaping hole in a wall, and no matter how many times I deleted it, redrew it, it still thought the door was there, even though the door wasn't there. And it was so bizarre, and it made me so mad that I completely just bulldozed the entire lot and was like, no, I can't with it. I was already upset with the way that the house and the build was going, so I just, you gotta know when to call it quit. And in that moment, I knew for my sanity, I needed to start over. So this is the actual shell that I ended up using. Again, I was still kind of trying to emulate the picture. I think for future reference, I probably won't do that just because, as I said earlier, it's just kind of hard to replicate things in The Sims. The scale is really, really weird. But I get to go through this a lot quicker, and I completely changed like the color scheme and everything, but I feel like I kind of stayed with the similar vibe of the picture. Like I wanted it to feel like a modern Tuscan-ish adjacent house. So I used those Moschino windows. I love those windows. I don't know about anybody else. I really struggle with windows in The Sims 4. For some reason, when other people place windows, it looks awesome. But when I place windows, I think they look so silly. And it makes it look like the house has a face, and I always end up putting too many windows or too few windows. I don't really have a good balance. So let me know in the comments if you are on the same wavelength as me as where you struggle. My struggles are windows and the shell. I make it too big, or I add too many windows or too few windows. I do think what I ended up with is okay. I might end up changing it later. But as you can see right now, I'm doing some of the landscaping, which I'll be honest, landscaping is my least favorite part of building. I feel like I can never make it look right, or at least not the way that I see it in my head. But I just ended up making like a circle drive and just kind of lined it with a bunch of these like low-lying flowers. I cut out some of it just because I figured that you didn't want to watch me put a million flowers down. And then on the side of the house, I added these like little, that skinny little fence. And then I just lined it with this like kind of like dried looking grass. And I thought that that looked kind of modern, because usually with modern architecture or modern homes, it's pretty minimal or like very manicured landscaping. And so that's kind of the vibe that I was going for. I love those outdoor lights. I feel like we don't have enough outdoor lights similar to the ones that I placed. We need more lighting, outdoor lighting in The Sims 4. That is my newest revelation that we need. But I added those potted plants. I think they look really, really great. And I think they bring in a little bit of that Italian style that I was looking for. And I wanted to add some dimension because it was very flat. And I thought that these vines really did a good job of adding a little bit of dimension to the front of the house. Because again, I wanted it to be modern, but also like not super boring and look like a box with just windows, which is what it was kind of looking like. So I went ahead and kind of took care of that. One thing I did want to talk about is, so for this next generation, the next generation is, which one is it? We're on the Bard generation, and then I think we're going to the Warlock gen, and we can choose between either like basically like life and death or Father Winter, kind of the paths to take. One is going to follow like death and gravestones and cemeteries and all that kind of stuff, and then the other sim, or the other option that we have, is to go more of like the Father Winter type, like the joyful, present giving, that sort of stuff. And I was thinking about it while I was building this house, and I think the conclusion that I've come to is I kind of just want to see what the kids, or kid, I don't even know how many kids that Anora and Judith are going to end up having, but I kind of just wanted to see like naturally what kind of personality they kind of gravitated towards, and then kind of make a decision then on if we end up going the more darker Ravenwood vibe, or if we go for more of like a Christmas Father Winter type of vibe. So I think maybe they will have 2 kids, and then hopefully that'll kind of give us some options of like what is the next generation gonna look like. I know for Risshella's playthrough, she did the life and death path. So I'm more tempted to go the Father Winter route just because it's different than what she did. And I think that that's kind of nice to be able to see like different playthroughs. But I am kind of open to anything. I love when The Sims just kind of like takes over and it's like, well, this is what my sim wants to do, so we're just going to have to go with it and go with the flow with them there. The other thing, back to the build. You'll notice I have really bad ADHD, so if I'm kind of hopping all over the place, I am so sorry. I hope you can follow my ADHD brain. But I did want to mention something about like this big house that I struggle with is floor plan, because typically with modern builds, they're a little bit more open floor plan, at least the ones that I've seen. I live in Texas. It's very popular to have like an open concept. But in The Sims, it just kind of looks like really bare. And so I don't know. I really struggle with that. But when I was designing their bathroom, I was going to go for this light and airy. And then I saw that this tile, and I can't remember what it's from. It might be high school years or the For Rent pack. I just fell in love with it. And I loved that green. And so I decided I was going to bring in the green into kind of all aspects of the house. So you'll see that I kind of tie it in to a bunch of different living spaces, which I'm realizing now, watching this back, I meant to put a litter box in their bathroom and I did not do that. So in the next episode, if we can afford the house, which, oh my gosh, I don't even know how much this house is going to cost. That is another fear of mine. I do remember seeing 6 numbers, which is unfortunate, but maybe I can cheat it and just have Judith. Maybe Judith makes a down payment and then we pay the mortgage, or I don't know, something like that. But anyway, back to the floor plan, I kind of really struggle, especially with the upstairs, of like how much empty space is bad. But I thought that maybe we could turn that upstairs landing into like kind of like a playroom, or just like any kind of big skill building things that we might need. We can just kind of like throw up into the landing. Honestly, maybe I can throw the litter box up there because I forgot to put it in her bathroom. But you can kind of see the build a little bit coming together, sort of. Again, I'm not the strongest builder, but this house is good for gameplay, which is my number one priority, is always going to be gameplay. And I think it ended up only being 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, maybe. So we have room for multiple kids, but I don't really see us having that many kids. My other thought was turning one of the rooms into like a home gym. Judith gives home gym vibes. Or my other thought was we could add like maybe like a movie room or something, but maybe that'd be better in a basement. I'm not really sure. I just figured while we had all that space, we might as well turn it into something. But going to the addition to the house that's kind of like to the right there, that's where I'm going to have the museum. That's what I was talking about earlier. And I thought I could have Anora's like art studio be upstairs and then the museum part be downstairs, and then the bathroom can also be upstairs. So anyone who comes to the museum will have to go up the stairs to go to the bathroom. I figure that that's fine. Sims don't care. But that way Anora has like her own special studio, special artist space where she can just be zen and get inspired and paint to her heart's content. And I started building this before I downloaded the new Adventure Awaits pack, which I thought that they would automatically download to my game, and I must have a setting on where they don't. And so I was building and I was like, where is all this new stuff? I don't see it. And I put the pool down and I was like, where are the diving boards? Duh, I didn't download it. So that was my bad. This is going to be Judith and Anora's bedroom. I told you I'm really heavy on the green, partially because I know Anora has green eyes and Anora likes green, but also in real life, I love green. And I just think that the greens in The Sims, especially with the Life and Death pack, the greens are just so pretty. And I thought it might be easier to just kind of pick like maybe 2 or 3 colors and just kind of run with it for the whole house, because again, I kind of struggle sometimes. There's some really, really talented builders out there. And I, unfortunately, am not one of them, but that's okay. I know where my strengths are, and building's not one of them. I'm definitely more of like a gameplay or create a sim. I love create a sim. Actually, let me know if you guys would like just some like random create a sim videos. I love making just kind of like random families. I think I need to make a vampire family because one of Anora's like life goals is to either befriend, I think maybe make an enemy of, or woohoo a vampire. And I really don't have an interest in woohooing a vampire, but you know what? It's The Sims. Who knows what's going to happen in The Sims? But I might make like a little vampire family and have them be like friends with Anora and Judith or something. Hey, maybe they're like really famous too. Who knows? I don't know. It was just kind of like a thought that I had. So just let me know down below if that is something that you would be interested in. And I couldn't remember the cheat to unlock the build stuff that's hidden. And I just was kind of too lazy to kind of look it up. But I might go back and fix that, because there was like that cool magazine thing where it's like magazine articles framed. And I just thought that that would be really cool to add to the build. So this side of the house I decided would be kind of like the more living space. So over here, I decided to do a sectional couch, which I have this really weird, and I don't know if this is a bug or if this is just like a BB.move objects thing. For some reason, when I place things, it'll just kind of like move the camera, and it's really, really annoying, which is why you kind of see the camera jolt around every now and then. And then it'll also like make the things that I'm trying to put down randomly rotate, and then they rotate so fast that I can't see what I'm trying to do. So I don't know if that's like a bug or if that's just, you know, part of the game of using a cheat when you're building. So I don't know, but it was really, really annoying the entire time. I did remember to put a little cat tree or a cat scratcher, and I went with like a little bit more of a modern one because this is Judith's house. Judith does not strike me as someone who has a ton of clutter, so I didn't want to put a lot of clutter in this house, even though that's what my heart was aching for. But Judith isn't like that. She is a celebrity. She's gonna have a place for every single little thing. And over here, I decided to do just kind of like a library because some of the grass was like clipping into the wall and it was really bothering me. And I was trying to think of like, okay, well, what's something I could do to cover it up? Bookshelves. I could do massive bookshelves. And I thought that that covered it up quite nicely. I think that's from the Book Nook kit, maybe? I don't remember. But it's really, really cool. Also, I think that's the modern, you'll have to forgive me, I think it's the Modern Luxe kit that has that gorgeous modern rug. If I could, I would have that rug in real life. I love it so much. That's under the piano. Because, of course, Judith Ward is going to have a freaking piano in her house, you know? Because she's a very fancy lady. Now we're kind of moving on to the kitchen, and I kind of struggled a little bit with the kitchen. I wasn't really sure because the floors are so light, but I just, none of the counters looked like expensive enough, or if they did, they didn't look, I don't know, like the color wasn't right. I don't know. So I just went with like this black and white kitchen. So I did the white counters all along the wall, and then for the kitchen island I did the black countertop. I see that in fancy homes, so I thought, okay, then maybe Judith needs it. And I wanted to include a bunch of different like cooking utensils, so I've got the little waffle maker over in the back. I put a pizza oven in here. I actually ended up moving that to the backyard because I added like a backyard cookout place and little bar area for The Sims, so I thought it made more sense to be out there. And then I think I ended up adding like the KitchenAid thing in here instead. And I went ahead and added the burglar alarm. I somehow haven't been burgled yet. There's certain save files that I play in where I get burgled all the time, and then some, like, I never get a burglar ever. Like, I'm playing the Ultimate Decades Challenge like on my own time, and I couldn't tell you what year I'm in. I think I'm in the 1330s or something like that. I haven't had a burglar once. Isn't that crazy? Not a single time. And I don't have it turned off. Like, I know I don't have it turned off, and yet somehow the game knows that I'm not supposed to be burgled in this time period. So I ended up having to split this build up into 2 days because I ran out of time on the first day. And so then this was the other day where I ended up finishing the build. And I mean, that's basically everything that I have to say. I'm really impressed that I've managed to like yap for like over 15 minutes. I guess I'm not that surprised. Again, I have ADHD. I could probably talk to a brick wall and I would have a great time. But I think I'm going to kind of leave my talking portion here. At the end of the speed build, I'm going to jump back into the game so that you can kind of see what it looks like in real time. So yeah, that's basically it. Thanks you guys for watching. I will see you guys in a bit. so we are back in the game. This is a different save file than the Llamas and Legends one. I just went ahead and picked a random one so that I could just build this house. But as you can see, this is the outside of the house. So let's go ahead and go inside. So this is kind of what it's going to look like when you first walk in. You walk in, you could see some movie posters. I figured we needed to have some because, again, it's Judith's home. Over here we've got like some coin things, some flowers, some shoes, a nice plant. And then I thought for these walls right here, it'd be perfect to hang some art that Anora paints. If we go to the left, we've got our little dining room. I put in that very fancy bar. I can't remember what pack that's from, but it's gorgeous. It's some of that cool modern art. And then back here, I just did like a little chess table. I wasn't really sure what else to put back here, but I thought that worked fine. And then if we keep going this way, we've got our kitchen, which I think ended up turning out nice. It's just got a nice like modern vibe to it. I did end up adding a blender. I'm very excited about that. This way goes into the backyard. I left this pretty plain because I figured we could decorate it more once we actually move in and have kids and all that kind of stuff. Actually, I did that for the whole house. So a lot of it is a little bit on the plainer side, but I figured, one, we don't have a ton of money to buy the house, so probably shouldn't furnish it all the way. Over here, we've got our living room with some magazines that in my head, Judith is on the cover of because she is such a famous girl. And then this way we've got our little library. I just love these rugs so much. And I just love that wine painting. I might end up changing this wall. I don't love it, but I thought we needed something. I'm probably going to end up changing it. If we go in through this door, we have Anora and Judith's bedroom, which I think ends up looking really pretty. I might add some curtains. I think that's the only thing I forgot. I decided to add a little computer and desk over here, just, you know, in case anyone needs it. And I've got the little cat tree for Smeagol. And then I changed the TV to be this one from the Bella Goth kit that I cannot remember the name of. I'm not very good with names. And then if we go through this door, we've got the lovely bathroom with a beautiful standing shower, standalone tub. That is clipping. I will fix that. But yeah, so this is their little lovely little bathroom. It's not really much to see upstairs quite yet because they don't have any kids. But yeah, these will be the kids' bedrooms. And then I thought out here they could have like a play area or something like that. I don't know. The windows are clipping. I don't know that it bothers me that much because I think you only see it if you're in this mode. So I'm not really gonna mess with it. Now over here is where the art gallery or the museum is gonna end up being. So we've got our little mailbox and we got our door right here. And I think the first thing that walks in will just be all of our beautiful artwork. I also made sure there was access through Anora and Judith's bedroom so that they don't have to go all the way around to get here. And then if we go up, so up here we've got the bathroom right here for our guests. And then this is where I picture the little art studio being. I thought that would be nice. And then this is just kind of like a walkway. But yeah, that's basically the house. Let me know what you guys think. Again, building is not my strength, so I would ask for kindness. But yeah, that's basically the video. Be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you think of the house. Don't forget to subscribe so that you always know when the next video is up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys!